What's going on? Welcome to Straight Out of the Herf Zone. I'm your host, Shirtless Mike, and it's another awesome episode tonight. I got a very special guest tonight. I've never met this guy in person yet, but we live close enough where it's going to happen very soon. And we're both superstars at what we do. You know, our bosses are good friends, so figured it's about time to have him on the podcast. Without further ado, our guest tonight is Tristin Parino. He's a tobacconist and bartender from Cigars on the Ave in Winter Park. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome him to the show, get this started, because we got a lot of cool shit to talk about. So, yeah, welcome, brother.
Going on, my man? Good to see you. Thank you for that introduction.
Heck yeah. I mean, doing introductions, like I used to have like a well thought out introduction, but I'm like, I'd rather just get straight to the content.
Yeah.
This isn't sex. You don't have to have a whole lot of foreplay in order to get to the main thing.
No, I hear you, bro. Yeah, definitely not like sex.
You just gotta come straight in. But yeah, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on. You're actually sitting right there in the lounge at Cigars on the Ave after you guys close. So,
Hours, yes, sir.
how was your night tonight?
Dude, honestly, can't complain. Wednesdays are definitely the point in the week where hump day. Just it's the perfect description of it. It just starts to gradually increase our customer base. Gradually increases. A lot of regulars. We always have a great time with our regulars, so it's always a lot of fun. And it's funny too because we get different spurts or different times of different regulars. So like in the morning, it'll be one group, and then they'll leave. And then we get another group of regulars, and we hang out with them for a little bit. Then they leave. Then at night, a whole different group of regulars come in, and then sometimes it's all of them together, and it's a madhouse sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. So
Heck yeah. I mean, I think most shops are like that because I know our shop, like, when I come in at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, it's like, there's a certain group that's there from like the time I get there to like early afternoon. And then there's like a little lull in the day. And then I got my guys, I call the Guinness crew. It's about three guys and they all drink Guinness and they just hang out and have a good time. But I think, we both can relate on that. Like, no matter what shop you work at, there's going to have the different it comes in waves. You got different people depending on the different times of the day, and then you just get that that one-off person that's just like you might be a little tired, and then they're like a fellow cigar nerd and they just energize you right away.
absolutely, man.
Because most of the time, somebody walks in, they need help in the humidor, they don't know what they want to smoke. But then you get that cigar nerd, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can still help them, but it's like they know just as much as you, and they just like brighten your day out of nowhere. So
Exactly. I do love it when people ask me questions, and if they're open to trying something new. I love kind of showing them some new cigars that they probably never even heard of before. And then you got those guys that they've been smoking the same thing for 20 years, and they're gonna keep smoking the same thing for 20 years. So
yep,
but
I got some guys I put on. I'm a big Roma fan, Roma Craft, and I begged Lou for like a couple years to be able to have Roma and Paustania in, and there's a guy that he usually smokes some of the same thing, and then today I put him on an Aqua team, and he was like, "Man, this cigar is good." He ended up buying three more before he left, and I said, "Hey, I'm over here teaching an old dog new tricks." So
oh yeah, it's always a wonderful thing. Actually, it's funny you say that because I had a very similar situation with a great regular of ours, and he typically either smokes Nicaraguan cigars, right? So he'll jump from Padron to Rocky Patel, then he'll jump to Plasencia, and those are usually like the three brands he kind of sticks with. Well, today, and we are actually doing a La Aurora takeover here at the shop tomorrow. So I kind of wanted to help prepare him for that. I wanted him to try one of their cigars, and he did. He actually tried the brand new Family Creed, and he smoked it down to the nub today. I was very impressed. I don't usually see him finish his cigars, but today he did. So
heck yeah,
very impressed.
that's what's up, man. Shouts out to Willie from La Aurora.
Yeah.
He came back home when he went to Gurkha. I was like, bro.
Yeah.
And I've told Juan Lopez I talk a lot of shit about Gurkha. Normally I don't do it like on the show or whatever, but I like people that work for Gurkha. I'm not a fan of their cigars like that. And I told Juan Lopez that, so he knows it's not me throwing shade. So, but
Hey,
yeah, so we're gonna jump in here. So once again, man, welcome to the show. Tell the people who you are in your own words, not your job, but the essence of Tristin Parino.
well, honestly, I'm a very basic guy when it comes like when you really break it down. I grew up here in Florida, right down the street from UCF. I went to school right like in Orlando. Didn't really move anywhere. My whole family's from Long Island, so we go up there a lot. But I mean, I like Orlando's always been my home. So I grew up, just doing a lot of sports, nothing too crazy. My brother was always a one sport kind of guy, but I was like all over the place. I wanted to try like five different sports, and that kind of like it's weird because that kind of followed me in a different direction. Like as I got older, I wanted to do like five different things at once. So like I did martial arts for a long time. I played pool for a long time. In fact, I still owe Lou a pool match, an 8 ball match or something, 9 ball or something. He keeps calling me out every time he comes down to the shop, and I'm I'm gonna take him up on. We're gonna close the shop down with a couple racks for sure, and but as I got older too, I kind of like jumped around from job to job. Smoking cigars wasn't something I really got into until I was 21, because I had my first cigar at 18, but then like they changed the law, and I was like, oh, that's fine. I don't really like cigars like that. So then I had a cigar with my friends at 21, and I was like, you know what? I'm starting to like this a little bit. And so I started gradually smoking cigars. But again, like I was kind of jumping around, doing a bunch of things. I was bartending. I was playing golf on the weekends. I had everything going on. So like really finding a love for cigars didn't come until much later on, when I found Cigars on the Avenue. You know, I was going from like maybe one cigar a week. I smoke 3 cigars a day now. You know, it it's a it's an expensive hobby. it's an expensive
Yeah, that's why you got to be in the business full time now.
so far, actually. I've done a lot of things, but this is probably the most expensive hobby so far. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the reason why I have to be in the business full time, because when I was working shitty jobs that I just hated, then I was broke half the time because I paid bills first, and then like I bought a shit ton of cigars. Now, I only work in the business for the employee discount, and because I smoke like 5 to 7 cigars a day, sometimes more depending. So I'm like George Burns, except for you can't go to the grocery store with a cigar. But if I'm driving, I'm smoking a cigar. If I'm at work, I'm smoking a cigar. If I'm at home, sometimes maybe not as much if it's too hot, but I'm smoking a cigar most times of the day, so it's fun. So
so question for you then. So since you're smoking that many cigars, do you start with a like a do you start? I know a lot of guys they tend to start a little lighter and they kind of work their way a little bit stronger toward like throughout the day. Are you like that, or do you kind of just like
that's usually what I do. Like today, I smoked the AJ Fernandez New World Connecticut, and forgot what else I smoked after that. But I tend to smoke the same few cigars, like obviously not like the same rotation, but like the same ones that I know the flavor of them. But anything that I knew that I smoke, I save that as like my first cigar of the day. But sometimes I'll just go strong all day. It's just I have ADHD, so it just depends on my mood and how I feel. Sometimes I need to kick in the ass first thing in the morning. I usually start off my work day. I get like 4 shots of espresso, and lately I've been pre-caffeinating prior to coming to work because I take a while to warm up. Because you see me as a nice bubbly personality type dude, but if I don't have my caffeine, then it takes me a little bit to warm up, and I'm more standoffish. So I've started to do that, and it's working out a lot better. So
yeah no I I'm a coffee in the morning kind of guy typically. I do a lot of espresso, but honestly, there's nothing like a nice cappuccino in the morning. I always enjoy my cappuccinos. I do a little cinnamon on it. It most of the time, any cigar I'm smoking with it, it just it pairs so well together. That's my number one pairing. I mean, I'm drinking scotch right now because it's a little late in the evening to be drinking espresso, but
Heck yeah.
you know, but in the morning I'll typically start with something lighter like yourself. Lately, and I know you had him on the show a while back ago, Mel from M Bombay.
Yep.
I've been typically smoking a lot of those Gaia naturals in the morning, man. Those things are addicting. I cannot get enough of those.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I'll switch it up from time to time. I'll do. I'm a big Cameroon guy too, so like I like a nice Cameroon in the morning too. I think that's like just light enough to or medium enough to start my day with. So that's that's typically where I start, and then towards the end of the day, though, like right now, I'm actually drinking Hedonism by Compass Box. It's a really nice blended Scotch, and this actually goes really well with that Gaia Natural as well. But I mean, I like. I'm a young buck. I just turned 26. I still don't have a whole lot of hair on my chest just yet. So for me to drink a whiskey neat is quite a task sometimes. But
Yeah.
this one it just coats the palate amazing. I mean, a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel. On the bottom they say brewing, which pardon my ignorance, but I don't know what that means. So I'm just like
Yeah.
I just go with what I know, and that's how I choose my whiskey. So
Yeah, most definitely. Now, so when you came to Cigars on the Ave, you started off as a customer, right? And how did you eventually come into starting to work there? How long have you worked there now?
so I'm going on 3 years in October. So it's right around the corner. But I found this place. I think I was just passing through, really, and I think I maybe took a video and tagged them on Instagram or something like that. And it's so funny too. I'll look back at that video, and there were so many regulars in that video that I recognized. I'm like, oh my god, I have a video of you before I even knew you. I think it's hilarious. Um, but then, yeah, I think I got a follow from them, and I was like, oh, that's weird. But I didn't really think anything of it because I think I may have posted a cigar, like I said, posted that video, and they followed me. And then I was out here in Winter Park one day, um, and I was coming off a date, and I was like, I'm like, you know what? I could really go for a cigar. So I actually had a buddy meet me up here. We sat here, had a great old fashioned. I was smoking a Padron, I think. Um, and it was everything was just phenomenal. The only thing that wasn't great was that my mind state was I wasn't very happy with the job that I was working at that time. I was selling cars, and I just wasn't in it. Like my heart wasn't in it. I know there's a lot of people that are really good at it, and I was really good at it. I would say in the beginning, but I don't know. I just wasn't. That wasn't my thing, and so I was kind of bitching to my friend. I was like, yeah, I just don't think it's for me. And I was thinking about like starting over completely, getting a minimum wage job and just kind of like starting fresh. And then I like was like, you know what? This would be a really cool place to work. So literally my next day off, I came in, dropped off a resume, and the rest is history. Now I'm here.
Heck yeah.
So
And so I mean, what? And see, I haven't met Don yet, but I know Lou's got a lot of respect for him, and the stories I hear, I'm like, he sounds like my type of guy. Just I'm a straight shooter, like very tell like it is type person. So, what's it like working for him?
I mean, working for him. I mean, it's yeah, he's definitely a straight shooter. Um, he's very business oriented. I mean, cigars are his passion, right? You know, I'm sure he's done a lot and he's very successful. But he's had cigars on the avenue for damn near 30 years. I mean,
Yeah,
this wouldn't this wouldn't be cigars on the avenue without Don Patel. No shot. If Don never took over cigars on the avenue, I there's a good chance that it probably wouldn't be around today. Um, but because it's him, because he had the vision, I mean, he built where I'm sitting right now. This shop, he built this from scratch. The old he still misses the old shop. He loved the old shop a lot, but it was time to grow, and so that's what he did. And working for him has been great. I've learned a whole lot from him. I mean, the guy is. I mean, he's he takes tobacco to a different level. I mean, he he could feel the wrapper of any cigar. I mean, I've tested him. He could feel the wrapper, and he just knows what it is. He just knows that tobacco. You know, what I mean, he could, you know, he could smell the aroma of a cigar and tell you like a little bit about it or like what's in it. Um, it's funny. The first time I ever rolled a cigar, um, I rolled a Plasencia Alma de Fuego Flama, and I'm sitting with him, and he goes, "Oh, roll it through your nose. Roll the smoke through your nose. You'll get more flavor. You'll get more spice." I was like, "Okay, okay," and I did it, and oh my god, I cried in front of him. But oh my god! But he took it. He was laughing, but like he didn't really bust my balls a little too much over that. But he was just like, see, now you understand the strength of a cigar, So, and now I roll almost. I mean, I know a lot of people say you shouldn't. I know a lot
You
of
mean
people.
retrohale? Is that what you're meaning? Retrohale?
Yeah, sorry. I retrohale almost. I would say almost every draw. I purge a couple times throughout the cigar, but like I retrohale nearly. I would say probably like every third draw. I'd probably retrohale. So
Interesting. Yeah, and yeah, when you were saying roll, like it took me a second, but I was like, I think he means retrohale. So that's like I wasn't trying. I'm sure you can still call it roll, but just for the audience, I just wanted, those are more familiar with the term retrohale. So I wish I retrohaled a little bit more. I do, but it's just I don't know why I don't retrohale more. Like I probably should.
there's some people that have been, that have told me like yeah, they retrohale once in the first third, once in the second third, and once in the last third, right? And I understand that, I get it. You don't want to, I mean, you're essentially inhaling it, but you're not allowing it into your lungs. You're just rolling it through your nose. It's just a different exit, really. Um, but the thing is, and something that this is what Don taught me was that you're missing out on like 70% almost of. I mean, and obviously that number could be miscued a little bit, but we don't know the exact.
It's a high number. Yeah.
Sure, it's a very high percentage of all those notes. I mean, just coating it in your mouth is one thing, but like being able, because obviously, a lot of your sense of flavor comes from your nose, right? From smelling. So if you roll it through your nose, the amount of spice, I mean, you'll get different notes that you won't get from just letting it coat your palate. So
Yeah.
you're kind of, I mean, especially if you're smoking, $20, $30 cigar, you're kind of like almost wasting a lot of the flavor by not rolling more. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying
Yeah.
what I do and roll every single or almost every single draw, but I mean, roll it a couple more times. Get get your money's worth out of it. It's like get your you buy yourself a nice cigar. You want to sit down, you want to relax. Enjoy that cigar, enjoy it to the fullest. You know what I mean?
No,
So
absolutely. And actually, just during this conversation, no, I don't like. You can't really see it, like, because it does kind of burn for me since I don't do it as much. But it's not like you could see it. Like I've done it before, where I looked like a dragon, with the smoke
yeah,
coming out of my nose. But I do it just a few times. I've done that, during this conversation, just while I'm listening, and you definitely experience the difference. I'm smoking a Tatuaje, what's the freaking that? It's the orange label, and I know what it is. I just can't think of the name, but that's what I'm smoking right now, and I was getting a little bit like a fruit flavors out of it, and a little bit more floral notes out of it. When I retrohaled, and so you're absolutely right, and I definitely retrohaled, just not as much as I should. But what are you gonna do? I don't review. Well, I kind of do for the shop, even though I haven't really done a review in like a long time. But I've gotten more to focused on like doing the videos, because Richard, he comes over and does the videos for us, and then I shoot some of my own videos. And I mean, so let me get into that part now. So now you kind of, you and the other Richard, not Richard Howard, but Richard who works with you. You guys are like the main faces now with Cigars on the Ave. You're always doing videos, like What's that experience been like for you? It's only been like a month for me. I was trying to not put myself out there, but he was like, "No, you need to put yourself as like the face, etc." So like, what's that been like for you guys?
I love talking about it. It's funny because Richard Howard, he's great. We love joking around with him and stuff like that. And he'll take me into the humidor and he'll tell me he goes, all right, give me the last three cigars you smoked or something, and I'll pick out the last three cigars. And he goes, all right, now explain it. Talk about it. He goes, just imagine I don't have a camera in front of me, and I'm like, okay. And then every now and then I try to be a little funny, or I just try to be, energetic, because I want people to be excited about the cigar that they're smoking, especially if it's a recommendation coming from me. Which,
Yeah,
leading into that, yeah, it's what you just asked was, how's that been for me? And, I get a lot of my customers who follow us on Instagram, who follow us on Facebook, and etc. They see me talking about a cigar, and they're like, "Oh my god, like you're so passionate about that cigar. Like, did you really like it?" They're like, and then they'll come and buy it. So that everyone's been super very very kind, you know, to our videos. Because obviously none of us are actors or anything like that. So it's like
yeah.
we're really just speaking from the heart at this point. We're just doing our best, and but I'm comfortable, talking about a cigar that I've had, a few times. I'm comfortable talking about a cigar that I've even, I haven't had, but maybe I did research on. Typically, anytime we get a cigar into the shop, I gotta look it up on Half Wheel. I gotta ask the rep about it, and let them tell me a little bit about it, so that way I can properly sell it to the right customers. You know what I mean? It's like because I'm not gonna if you really like smoking Connecticut's, if you really like those notes of cedar, vanilla, or creamy coffee notes, I'm not gonna sell you a Maduro because that's probably not gonna be that's not the flavor palette that you're shooting for. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try it, but maybe that's not the ideal flavor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's all about being sensitive to like kind of knowing what's out there,
Exactly.
and it's almost like being a doctor. You tell people to give all your symptoms, and then you diagnose the problem. So it's like that when you're walking in the humidor with somebody, and be like, "What do you like to smoke?" And then that way I can point you in that direction, etc.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and I have my favorites. I have the ones that I typically, will recommend, especially like now that I've started to you know, being here 3 years, there's a lot of regulars that I've kind of learned their palates, so like I can kind of suggest specific cigars to them now and feel very comfortable that they will like it. If they don't like it, well, then I missed the cue on that one, but or I missed the mark on that one. But at the end of the day, I mean, you don't know if you like something, or that could be your favorite cigar, and you just don't know until you try it. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
branching out. So now you said you're smoking a Tatuaje right now.
Yeah, and I remember that it said Nuovo. That's what it is.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I've been smoking a little more Tatuaje lately. The last Tatuajes that we got in were the pork tenderloins. And they're a little more, I guess, a little more limited release. Those
Yeah,
came in that butcher wrapping. I don't know if you saw them, but it was kind of cool.
yeah,
But
yeah.
they
We already sold out of them all. So
Yeah, same. We I got to maybe smoke two out of the whole collection that we got, and I'm like, all right, that kind of stinks, but no, that was a great one. I'm also a big fan of the Bon Chasseur, or the Tuxla Bon Chasseur, I believe. That's the one
yeah,
with the Mexican San Andreas wrapper. I'm a big fan of that one, and honestly, all of the Monster series, man. Dude, like we had the Monster Smash last October. I'm excited to see what is coming out this year, man. I'm really looking forward to it because I got to smoke all of the Monster series last year in that Monster Smash, and
yeah.
like all of them were excellent. I was like, oh my god, these are phenomenal. Like these, like I will just keep smoking these if I have to. I mean, these are great. So I got like what 14 different cigars in there too. It's like it's hell of a bundle that he had going on there. But
Oh yeah.
I'm actually smoking this guy right now. This is the Oliva Series V Maduro. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, very full body. I actually haven't had the Maduro in a while. I'm a big fan of the Milanio Maduro. but it's definitely a little different, a little stronger if anything. So
Hell yeah. You know what the crazy thing about Oliva is, which I smoke them now a little bit, but a long time ago they used to like give me headaches, and they always tasted fine, always tasted good, and then they would somehow like give me a headache and start like making me sick, like, and you know how much I smoke. I told you I smoke all day long, and then this was like even before then when I still was smoking a lot, and I just remember one time I had like an empty lunchbox in my car, and I couldn't pull over to the side of the road. I was like in the turning lane to turn left onto O'Galley Boulevard in Melbourne, and then I had to throw up like so bad, like, and I don't know what it was. And so for a long time I stayed away from Oliva, but now I've, everyone's. I'll smoke it a little bit more now because I know it's not going to do that to me anymore. But I don't know what it was. Like it was so weird.
yeah, man, I mean, I know they got some strong stuff too. I mean, they you know, the Series V is definitely not a mild or even medium cigar. I would say it's very full bodied. Now, I'm a big fan of the Milano, like I said, but I'm also a big fan of the Connecticut Reserve, specifically when I'm golfing. I don't know why. It hits great on the golf course.
Hell yeah, yeah. And I've never been golfing or whatever, but eventually, one day I'm gonna do some golfing. The only type of range I usually go to is the gun range.
Yeah, trust me, dude. If I could smoke a cigar while I'm at the gun range, man, that'd be living the dream, man. The American dream.
I mean, like even with the indoor ranges, like it'll probably be the perfect place to smoke a cigar because they got excellent ventilation in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
That's
of
another.
all, that would be the perfect spot to do it because they have to have the ventilation because of the gunpowder and stuff like that from the ammo. And a buddy of mine in North Carolina even said that they did like an event, like they had like cigars out there on the gun range, and I don't know how they got around it, but I'm like, that would be cool. There's actually like a private gun club in Palm Bay, and it's outdoors. So uh, if I find somebody who's a member out there, I'm like, hey, let's roll out there. I got the cigars. So
Yep, yep. Yeah, no, there's a couple of places that I've been recommending to. One out in Daytona. I know there's one out in like Bithlo area. Actually, like if I were like on my way to you guys, I could probably pass that one. Um, but yeah, no, I haven't been to an outdoor range and just too long. Honestly, I'd like to get out there again, have a lot of fun. But honestly, I mean, even the even the just the driving range for golf, I try to hit the driving range at least once a week. If I don't hit the driving range before I go golfing, because I typically try to go golfing once at like almost every Sunday. I might miss like one or two Sundays. Like, well, that's like half the month. But I'll typically try to hit 50 to 100 balls before I even golf, like before I even get out on the on the course. And I'll light up a cigar right there. Last time I went golfing, I had some phenomenal cigars. They were excellent. They were Cuban, but they were excellent cigars. They were very good. Um, and I'll probably be golfing this weekend. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna bring out there just yet. So we'll see.
hell yeah. Well, I got some more questions here, and like I said, this conversation's flowing, so I already knew it would. So we may never get through all the questions, but I'm gonna just talk about like the art of tobacco and spirits, because you kind of, you're on both things. You're a bartender, so got that experience with pairing. So, what makes the perfect pairing between a cigar and a drink? Is it flavor, emotion, memory? Like give us your like opinion on that.
So this might trigger a couple people or everyone. Who knows? But I'm gonna be honest with you and say that you you should drink what you like drinking when you because honestly at the end of the day having a cigar, enjoying a cigar is all about enjoyment, right? So
Yep.
enjoy what you're drinking. Now, if 100 people tell you, "Oh, the best thing to drink with a cigar is whiskey or scotch or bourbon or rum," let's just say, great, maybe try it sometime. But if it's not for you, that's okay. Personally, like I said earlier, my favorite pairing is a cigar with coffee, whether it's espresso, a cappuccino, or if I'm just having some girly drink from Starbucks, man. Like I don't know, something about those notes just like they complement each other very well, especially for my palate. Now, I would say my second favorite drink to have, and that's again because I don't really have a whole lot of hair on my chest, but I'll drink an old fashioned, right? But my number one cocktail, like whether I'm out in a restaurant or even if I'm here at the lounge, I've celebrated my birthday here a couple years in a row now, and my number one cocktail is a Negroni, which is gin based, right? A lot of people would say, "Oh, gin doesn't go with a cigar," but that's wrong. Gin, being very botanical, can pair very well with a very light cigar, um, like a Connecticut wrapper for sure. In fact, actually, the company Foundation, they have the High Claret Castle, which is it comes in Connecticut and
Yep.
Maryland, but they also make their own gin, and it's meant that cigar is meant to pair with that gin. You know what I mean? So it's like it can go together. Now, you also get a lot of herbal flavors from the Campari and the sweet vermouth, which could also pair well with again a cigar. Now, let's say if you're not a gin guy, that's fine. You could still have a Boulevardier, let's say, and that could pair very well with said cigar. One of my closest friends, he without change up. I mean, today he changed up a little bit. He just wanted to try something a little different, but he still stuck to his guns or stick to his favorite drink, which he drinks tequila blanco on the rocks with his cigar. And some people might say that's a little out there, but I think the notes from the agave, maybe like even a little bit of the sweetness, or maybe even a little bit of the funk that you might get from tequila, could pair well with a cigar. So honestly, I mean, whatever you enjoy smoking, or I'm sorry, whatever you enjoy drinking is what you should enjoy drinking with your cigar. I, whether it's bourbon, whether it's scotch, whether it's rum or a Negroni or tequila or coffee or even sparkling water. In fact, actually, Davidoff, they released something a tasting for the Grand Cru, and they gave non-alcoholic suggestions, and one of which is a sparkling water with a twist of lemon or lime in your sparkling water to pair with the Grand Cru. And I think that's genius. Honestly, I think they pair very well together.
Or if
So
you're basic like me, I just do regular ass water because I'm not a fan of I should have said not a fan. I just prefer regular water. Like if I'm gonna like I don't drink soda, so like anything like bubbly or whatever, like
yeah,
as far as water goes, like it's cool and all, but I just like regular ass water. Like sometimes I'll go to the office in Cocoa Beach and I'll tell the bartender Megan, I'm like, because they have like cucumber water. I'm like, just give me some basic ass water. Like they have this nice Italian water that's just regular. I was just give me some of that. I don't care. I'll buy a bottle of that. I don't need free cucumber water. And one time she laughed at me and gave me some cucumber water anyway. I still drink it, but like it's not bad. It's just I'm basic. I like regular ass water.
cucumber water is actually extremely refreshing. I've been trying to, I wanna make a little concoction with it, like maybe like a cucumber martini or something like that, because cucumber is super refreshing, especially right now. We're in we're in we're in Florida. You're over by the coast, man. So it's hot here, right? So
Yep.
will be coming in. I get a lot of people ordering beer right now. A nice ice cold beer on a hot day also goes very well. A lot of people like Guinness. I'm a big fan of Guinness myself. Unfortunately, we don't have it on tap, but that's okay. But a nice Guinness can pair really well with a cigar, and it's ice cold. It's smooth. It's not carbonated, which is really nice. Because they got the nitro in it, and I'm not a big fan of what's it called bubbly myself actually, but at the end of the day, I mean, whatever kind of cleanses your palate. For some people it's sparkling water, and some people it's regular water. That's fine. But yeah, no, I got my water right here too. I gotta stay hydrated throughout the day, man. We're in here. We're smoking a couple. You're smoking 7 cigars. I'm smoking 3 cigars. But we gotta stay hydrated. We gotta flush our system out a little bit every now and then.
Oh yeah. The AC at our shop right now hasn't been 100% keeping up. And so when I came into it, it was like okay, and then like we ended up calling the AC people, and they got it back not a it's not going to be 100% because it's like over 100 degrees every day, but you know they're getting it the best that they can, and so all I do is drink water. And we got the freestyle live kits that comes with the Stanley Cup. I literally just bought I bought the three cigars are okay. Like they're not great. I don't know what they're gonna be yet, but they're gonna announce it on Freestyle Live. But this is how I've been selling these. I'm like, you can leave this in your car overnight with like ice and water. It could come out the next day at 100 degrees, and it's still gonna be just as cold as the day before. So I literally just drink water out of this all day.
Yeah, that's I mean, and that's the way to do it, man. Honestly, you think, I mean, I think the suggested amount of water that you're supposed to be drinking is like about like 7 cups of water a day. I definitely there's days where I'm like, have I had a sip of water today? And it's like already like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, or 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, have I drank any water today? I need to go drink something. You know?
I feel it when I don't, like especially like on Wednesday because Tuesday nights, you know, I get out kind of late. Like every other Tuesday, there's a group that comes through, and we don't get out of there till like a little bit later than usual. And then I get home and like I can't go to sleep right away, and I got to be up earlier than usual to get to work at 11. And then if I don't drink enough water, like by the end of the day, I'm like cranky, and you know that's why I take a nap on Wednesdays because you know sometimes I go out, sometimes I just sit around the house, but that water it makes a difference.
Oh, definitely, man. Gotta stay hydrated.
But yeah, so what's a cigar or spirit that taught you a lesson, whether personal, professional, or even emotional?
Say that one more time.
What is a cigar or spirit that taught you a lesson, whether personal, professional, or even emotional?
That's a good one. That's a good.
I'm making you think after a long day at work today.
Oh yeah, no, that's a cigar or spirit. That's maybe think about something. Okay. Um, damn, that's a really good one, man. I mean, I mean, I could say, I don't know if I could pinpoint an exact like cigar that I had, or like, but I could pinpoint an instance in where I was smoking or enjoying a cigar and having a spirit, maybe. I mean, to go back to when I was, sitting here, I was a little bummed out about my, current work situation, and I mean, just being here and kind of enjoying my cigar kind of like gave me that, epiphany that I was like, you know what, this would be a cool place to work. And now, since that day, I have not regretted my decision at all. I mean, I've made new countless friends here, countless connections as well. But I mean, I've really just fallen in love with like the art of a cigar. Enjoying a cigar. So like, I would say I don't know if I could pinpoint the exact cigar or spirit, but I can tell you that was probably one of the most defining moments that of my life that I like made a decision based on what I was enjoying in that moment, and I haven't looked back since. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answers, just to kind of make you think on that. So
Wait, oh, it's making me think. I'm gonna be up at 2 in the morning tonight, thinking about that question.
absolutely. So let's see here. I got a shit ton of questions, so I'm just gonna pick something. So we're in the business full time. You know, you're both a tobacconist slash bartender. What's something that most people get wrong about bartenders or tobacconists?
Something that gets wrong about us. Well, I don't know if I would say get. I don't know if I would ever say that I've ever been told I was wrong about something necessarily, but there's some customers that know their shit. They've been smoking almost as long as I've. So it's like for me to come out here only years in the industry, saying like, oh, I know everything about cigars. That's BS. It can never be true. Going back to Don, he's so passionate about cigars and he's been in the business for so long. Even he'll say he's not by any means an expert in cigars. Now, I will say there's times where we may have a customer come in and start speaking on a cigar that, and I'll sit there like, uh, that doesn't sound right. I might question, what they're saying, but again, I mean, it's up to everyone's personal palate, what they get and stuff. Um, but then, like, again, like, you know, I hate to say it, and this might again trigger some people, but there are some bourbon snobs, some whiskey snobs out there, and I respect you for knowing what you enjoy. I do, but to come to a bar and and be very selective on, oh, this bottle needs to be this batch, oh, this etc etc, like, dude, like we don't get to pick what we get. It's like our distributors will send us what we get, and what I can serve you is what I can serve you. When it comes to cigars, some people will say that, you know 65% humidity is the correct amount of humidity for a cigar. Like, if it's in their humidor. You know, Here at the shop, we keep our humidor, our walk-in humidor, at 70-70, or at least we try to. Right? There's a constant flow, the doors opening and stuff like that. Some of that humidity might escape. During these hot months, it might grow. And we try to fix that if we can, or the best we can. But for you to come in and tell me that, oh, this is the best, I think you need to reevaluate, what it is the best is, because the best cigar to me may not be the best cigar to you. The best bourbon to me may not be the best bourbon to you. At the end of the day, everyone's opinion is going to be different. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. So with that being said, some people get, the question I just asked was about what most people get wrong or whatever. And you being in this business, we exert a lot of energy, just, talking to people, running around like crazy, like a chicken with our head cut off. Um, so how do you personally handle nights or days when you're emotionally drained but expected to bring good energy?
yeah, yeah, no, that's a good one. I've been in that you know that place many times. On busy nights, especially on slow nights. Slow nights are, the busy nights are what kind of keep you energized. Um,
Yeah,
but the slow nights is where you really kind of have to, like, sit back and, like, and really, like, you know think about what it is that you're doing, and like, okay, how can I make the most out of today, kind of thing. And it could be that one customer that comes in, like you said in the beginning. That one customer who comes in and energizes you, that's phenomenal. But then there could be that one customer that comes in that really just, oh man, you didn't have to come in tonight, did you? It's like, couldn't have come in on a night that I'm not super annoyed already. It's like, you know, um, especially, like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna say, here at our shop, we don't allow outside cigars. That's our store policy. It's been that way for decades. And when you have a guy who has been here maybe a couple times, or who hasn't been here a couple times, maybe it's their first time. You know, as your bartender, as your tobacconist, I'm gonna let you know, or as your employee who's serving you, I'm gonna tell you, like, hey, listen, like, unfortunately, we do have no outside cigar policy, but I'm very happy to help you pick something out of our humidor, you know, and it's some people that are gonna say, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for letting me know, and they'll put their cigars back in their case. Maybe they'll put it back in their car, or they're gonna say, "Oh no, like what? I If I buy a cigar here, I can't smoke my own cigar. Oh, if I buy a drink, I can't smoke my own cigar." It's like, dude, I no, like, support your small businesses first of all, right? We're not a franchise. We're not, like, I'm not gonna bring a burger from McDonald's over to Burger King. You know what I mean? Like, that's messed up. Um, like, come in and buy a cigar whether it's a $10 cigar or a $50 cigar. I don't care. I'm gonna treat you the exact same, and I'll ask you how that cigar is halfway through. Hey, how's that cigar treating you? If you say it's bad, all right, well maybe I'll take you back in there and I'll find you another cigar, or maybe I'll get you a drink or something like that. But when you come in and just have a sour attitude with your bartender and stuff like that, I think you need to kind of take a step back and be like, this guy's doing his job. Maybe I shouldn't bust his balls too much. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think, I think it's kind
Coming
of
around and fucking around with me, I'll bust the balls right back. But that's if like I got that relationship. Like there's a couple guys that used to always, when I used to open every day, they would come first thing on Saturday morning. And when I tell you, like, I have to pre-warn people that are sitting around them, like, I don't typically talk to people like this because of what I say. It's just our relationship. Like, they just go hard. Like you just got to be there to understand it.
yeah. Sometimes you just gotta bite your tongue too, man. It's like you just can't argue with some people. It's just like, okay, all right. It's like, yes sir, yes sir.
Oh, absolutely. Now, at our shop, I mean, we don't necessarily tell, we don't let people, we'll allow outside cigars. However, I'm the number one sales guy, so I'm gonna make sure you're spending some type of money that in some type of way, because my hands are tied. Like the boss will allow certain things, but at the same, no matter how I personally feel about something, that's beside the point. But he's got me there to like I'll sell the hell out of some cigars. So we're still gonna get your money regardless.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a cigar or whether it's a drink, I mean, I had an instance not too long ago where um, they they wanted to just like buy like get a coffee or like get an espresso, um, and it's like we sell those for $3. It's like that doesn't really you sit down for 2 hours and let's say we get packed and let's say you want to smoke another one of your cigars but you really only get that one espresso. It's like how can we as a business survive if people just keep coming in and doing that? It's like you know going back to what I was saying, support your local business. You enjoy smoking cigars, support us.
Absolutely.
So we can keep doing this for you. It's like we enjoy cigars just as much as you. It's like, but some people are just stuck in their ways, and they feel that they should be able to do whatever they want. And you know what? It's to those people where it's like, well, you know what, sir or ma'am, if you want to enjoy your cigar, please enjoy it somewhere else. At the end of the day, it's I I can't. I'm not going to fight you on it. We have a store policy. We have a business to run. We have to we have to keep the lights on at the end of the day. So like I would rather you buy. I'd rather you buy $100 worth of drinks or cigars or whatever that and not tip me on anything than for you to sit here and smoke two or three of your own cigars and just you know and take up one of our spots because honestly, like you could do that at your house. You could do that, you know, at at a park or something like that. You could do that at the beach. You could do that, somewhere else. Why does it have to be at our business where you're kind of not showing us the respect of, doing anything for us? It's like we should just serve you and let you do whatever you want and let you do and let you not support us or show us any respect. It's kind of messed up in that respect. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I don't care if somebody's buying $100 worth of drinks at the bar or any amount of drinks at the bar. Tip your motherfucking bartender because that's the biggest. That's my biggest pet peeve because like I'm not a bartender by trade. I get thrown behind the bar every once in a while. Like I've learned how to bartend, and I have to exert more energy bartending than I do selling cigars because selling cigars I'm in my element and somebody comes in here makes me do all this work, don't hook a brother up, especially like I treat everybody great. Tip your bartender because they don't, that's where the bulk of the income comes from, and people, it's a respect thing.
Well, I try to pride myself on, I mean, this is my livelihood, right? I mean, tips are absolutely a major part of my income. If I don't make tips, I'm I ain't paying rent. You know what I mean? Um, so I will actively, even if you just buy a $10 cigar and if you're just drinking water, that's fine. I'll keep serving you water all day long. I will. I mean, and
Yeah, with a smile, but take care of the bartender.
but yes, I mean, it's like if you get a drink or two, it's the same thing if you go out to a restaurant. It's like, you know, our wages are different from the minimum wage employees or salary employees. Our wages are different. Like our wages are built to include tips, and someone told me actually, this was kind of messed up actually, but someone told me to get, like, if I wanted to make more money, that I should just go find another job, and I was like, okay, so I can sit here and be nice to you all night long, and then you tell me if I want to make more money, I need to go do something else. So someone else can take my position and be a dick to you. Got it. Okay. Because quite frankly, that's what's gonna happen. At the end of the day, it's like, there are some people that are very patient, very they try their hardest to earn that tip. Even if it's $1, like it's $1 or nothing. It's like, you're here to have an experience. You want to enjoy your cigar. I want you to enjoy your experience here. Because I mean, the odds are, if you enjoy your experience here, you'll come back. Maybe you'll get something else, or maybe you'll invite someone else who will get something else too. It's like it keeps us in business. I you know I've worked in sales where commission was the major part of my income, and you know what, it's the same thing. It's like you need to earn that commission. You need to show someone respect. You need to show someone patience. You need to show someone an enjoyable experience, something that you can recommend to other people. You should not leave a place or a restaurant or a bar with a bad experience. And being a bartender, I've come across great bartenders or great servers. I've come across really bad ones, unfortunately. Um, and you know what? My tip remains the same. You know, I I'll tip 20% usually, minimum. Sometimes more. If you're great, I have no problem tipping you 30, almost 40% of what my tab was, no matter
Yep.
what. I don't, because you know what? At the end of the day, you made that experience enjoyable for me, and you know what? You can't put a price on that. So
Yep. I mean, cultivating experiences is the name of the game. Like, if you work in a high end cigar lounge, cigar bar, whatever you want to call it, if you cultivate an experience, like, people appreciate that. And those that don't understand that, I mean, yeah, they're patrons. They come and partake of that. But those who get it are like you know, there's a level when it comes to circle. There's, like, the inner circle and there's the outer circle. Those that are in the circle are those that truly get it, and then those are the rest of the people. They support the ecosystem of everything, but they're just not in the game. That's just my opinion on things. Like, they're not in the game. Those that are in the game, though, it's they just make everything so much better, and they get it, and they continue to bring more people that are in the game, and it just keeps getting better and better.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I got just a few more questions because we're getting more towards the end. But I always come with way more questions because you never want to run out of things to talk about. So
Hey man, I'm enjoying this, man. I got great conversation. I got a great cigar, and I got great scotch. What more could I ask for?
absolutely. Now, what's a drink that you would serve someone who just got their heart broken? This is the kind of a fun, not necessarily fun for that person, but
Okay.
what? But
Woo!
what's a drink that you would serve somebody who just got their heart broken?
Man, I've been there before, brother. I've been there before. Um, so a drink that I would serve someone who just got their heart broken. You know what? I'll go a shot. I'll go a shot.
Just shot. Let me get a shot of Jack. Let me get a shot of this.
Something something you want and yeah, like a shot of tequila or a shot of whiskey or something like that. I think that should be like the first, like, all right, it's like, man, you're having a shitty time, man. Let me get you a shot real quick, man. It you really can't go wrong with that. Uh,
Four Horsemen. Actually, a long time ago, in my younger days, I kind of was a simp, right? And there was this chick that I was chasing so bad, and and I just wouldn't get the hint that, like, I was never stalkerish or creepy, but like, no matter how many times she said she wasn't interested, I was like, oh, that's just she's playing hard to get, big time simp. And then so I went out. I had like a Four Horsemen shot, all the Jacks and Jims and all that other world. I think I had a couple of those, and then I had like a pitcher of beer. And let me tell you, and then I went to another bar like after that because I was a little bit fucked up in my younger days, but yeah, that did the trick for me. But I don't get my heart broken anymore because I realized that I had to work on becoming a little bit more secure and if a chick ain't interested, guess what? I'm shirtless Mike. I can get whoever the fuck I want.
damn right.
I mean, I'd still do a little chasing, but not to the degree of simping. I'm not gonna simp after somebody because I've learned the difference.
Man, I'll be honest with you, man. If I've been there. Like I said, I've been there, and I think honestly, like, my um like drink of choice when I'm down and stuff like that is actually whiskey. It actually is whiskey because, like I said earlier, it and this could be, you know it's a little sad, but, like, it's like I want I want something to kind of like burn a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'm like, take the hard pill. I'll take a sip of it to respect it, and then I'll just shoot it. And I'm like, I need to feel that, like, that fire. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what you just said. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get back out there. You're shirtless, Mike. I've been called Frankie Hats for some reason. I wonder why, but I'm a human being. I'm a good dude. Yeah, like, I'll get back on that horse. I'll get back out there. You know what I mean? It's like, but you need that fire, and I think that fire is also important in your drink. So that's why I go with whiskey usually. That's why I'm like, I need that little bit of burn. It's like, I'm like, I need that. I need that heat. I don't know. Kind of pump.
yeah. I mean, I never really thought of it like that. I just was, in the time in my simping days, because being a simp sucks, man. It's just pathetic. But can't believe I was at that level of life. But then again, it is what it is.
Man, I wish.
And the older I get, the better I've gotten. Like it's like I've learned the lessons I needed to learn, and I feel like I'm at my prime right now. Like back in my younger days, I was like learning all the lessons. I kind of was like later to the game. Like I was ugly when I was like younger, so when girls weren't interested in me when I was in high school and all that. And then once I got some confidence about myself, it's all the shit I should have been doing in high school. I learned in my 20s, and now that I'm in my 30s, then it's like I got that confidence about me, and then now it's just a numbers game at that point.
It's a numbers game, yeah. See, I've always been pretty traditional. You know, I I fall hard, I fall fast, but I have to remember that the world has 8 billion people in it, right? Now, obviously, for me, it's personally, it's about half that, because I'm looking for that lucky lady who, will appreciate me, and I'll appreciate her the same. Um, but it's it's one
That's
of those.
because we're Italian, bro.
We are, yeah, dude. You're
I'm,
Italian.
I'm Irish and Italian, so it's just the way we are.
I love it. Yeah, man. Yeah, uh, we got that. We got a little bit of that Latin in us. It's like we got that passion in us. We want to treat a girl right, but I think at the end of the day, it's kind of just, you know, the world keeps spinning. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They say the world's your oyster. They say there's plenty of fish in the sea. Uh, well, I'll tell you right now. every time I've gone fishing, I've never caught a damn thing. So I I gotta wait for something to kind of jump in the boat before I before I start getting settled in. But I it, I don't even know where we're going with this anymore. We're
We were
kind of
talking. Yeah, we were talking about what drink to
yeah.
serve somebody if they're heartbroken.
Yeah, maybe you can cut this out later. I don't know.
No, I pretend like we're live. This show used to be live, so
Oh shit! All right. Well.
it's not live anymore though.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I mean, the only way. I mean, if somebody said something incriminating, I would obviously. But we're having fun. This is a natural conversation. But I do have just one more question, and then and afterwards, we could talk. When it's not recording. But in 20 years, how do you hope people would describe this chapter in your life?
Oh man, that's a great fucking question, dude. Um, I've always been one. I've always been one to want to make, you know, to set a print on someone, right? So like any person I meet, I want them to remember me by like, you know what, that whether I was younger or now even, I'm like, I want them to think like that kid was good. He got a good head on his shoulders, Um, maybe I made their day in somehow. Maybe I said something funny. Maybe I did something stupid that made them laugh. Who knows? Maybe I said something to them that kind of resonated with them, and maybe that's what they remember me by. But at the end of the day, I think I just want people to remember me by a genuine guy who just was a decent guy, was a decent human being. You know, Sometimes that's kind of hard to come by. I think we're both great guys. I think we're both gonna make our mark. I think one, I heard about you in the cigar world before you and I even messaged each other. So obviously you made a mark on some people for it to get all the way to me, and I'm
Yeah,
hoping and I'm hoping that in 20 years, in fuck, even if it's 20 days, I don't care. Um, that people remember me by, what, that guy was all right. That guy actually sold me a nice cigar. Oh, when I used to sell cars. Oh, you know what? That was the most pleasant experience I ever had selling a car because of him. You know what I mean? It's like I just want people to, feel at peace when they're in my presence, or like when I'm in their presence, or when they're in my presence. I want them to feel at peace that that guy, he was all right. He was a good one.
absolutely, and that's how I feel too. That's why I do my. I prep for my show, but I don't overly prep. When I first started this show, I used to so overly prep, and now I'm just like, you know what? Like, if I'm working with a brand, obviously I have to do more prep. But it's just, we're just getting to know somebody. Just this is
Yeah,
just us herfing, and then people get to watch it. So
yeah. People get to see a little bit about us. Uh,
absolutely.
I,
Well, we're at the end pretty much. So let everybody know, and I'll even put down in the show notes on YouTube tomorrow, like where people can find you and everything, and
well,
on the socials.
so you can find me 5 days a week here at Cigars on the Avenue. That's number one. I'm here every day, or almost every day, all day. Um, you really can't miss me. If you want to drink, if you want a nice cocktail or something like that, I, you know, I, I've had a lot of drinks in Winter Park, but I think I genuinely make a damn good drink. Whether it's a Manhattan, an old fashioned, a Negroni, or fuck, if it's even just putting whiskey in a glass, I do it with love. Um, you know, I, if you want to follow me on social media, it's at Tristin.Skyler _. It's really I'm fucking open page. You can't miss me. I'm on the Cigars on the Avenue Instagram page a lot. So definitely come down and see me. Check out our page. Tomorrow we're gonna be having a La Aurora takeover. So if by any chance someone's seeing this and they're like, oh shit, I'm not doing anything, let me go check that out. We're gonna have a lot of great cigars, being enjoyed here. We're gonna have a lot of great deals going on. We have Willie from La Aurora coming down. He's gonna make things a lot of fun. I already know. It's always fun when he's here.
Man,
He's
Willie's good people. I know that man a long time. So
Willie is phenomenal. He's he just got a house not too long ago. I'm very happy for him. Um, he seems very happy. So he's definitely helped me a lot in my cigar journey, I guess you could say as well. So shout out to him as well. Um, we have we got a lot of great people at this bar too. So even if you just want to come check it out, if you have a good time here, come down. There's a good chance that you'll see the same faces, and those faces will recognize you, and they'll probably chat with you again, and they'll probably just have a great time with you. So that's all I really have to say. I mean, honestly, I'm not one to, you know, I try to stay a little humble if I can. I used to be super cocky. I used to be a little overly cocky, and I think I've tried to humble myself down a little bit. And
yeah,
I mean, we have a great bar here. We have a great time here. We have a great selection here. Um, I'm gonna do my best to serve anyone who comes here well. So if that's you, come on down.
absolutely. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show tonight, and it was good, chopping it up here and everything. So, and everybody that's watching, I'll put down below where you can find them on the socials, information about Cigars on the Ave, and I'm gonna let you know when we're not recording so we can talk that real shit for a sec.
That sounds good.